everybody. It's a new week. I am downstairs. It's a little bit after 12:15 in the afternoon, and I just finished responding to some emails, some comments on YouTube. I just finished giving a shout out to Jennifer from Glitter and Jams because she was one of 2 people that donated to my Donors Choose project. Today I need less than $200 at this point, so I'm super excited because I'm getting closer. So if you are watching and you are one of the viewers that have donated, thank you so very much. And I'm also in the process of reading through some of the things on Teachers Connect and responding to them, one of which I'll share right now because this person needs some help. As far as my weekend is concerned, on Saturday, I did a little bit of work, and then I went to the movies to see Ant-Man with my family. I'm not a huge Marvel Comics person or superhero movie person. If I happen to see it, fine. If I don't, I'm not necessarily devastated by it. But this is one that I specifically wanted to see because we saw the first one, and what I liked about the first one is that it was actually funny to me. Like, I laughed out loud multiple times in the first one, and so I was hoping the same could be said for the second one, and it was. It was really funny. It was really good. I highly recommend it. I think I just like Paul Rudd in general because he was in Clueless, and that's one of my all-time favorite movies. And then on Sunday, which was just yesterday, I worked out. I worked out. I spent a lot of time Sunday responding to comments on YouTube, but I worked out, responded to comments, did a little bit of work, but not a lot. Mostly, I think I just relaxed. I don't even have a memory of what I did. I did buy a new book that I want to show you guys and show you the other book that I have to finish before I can read it because I am really struggling with this book. The book that I'm going to show you first, I've been reading in spurts since November. Not because I've been reading that slow, but because I'll read and then I'll get really busy and then I won't have time to read and then I'll pick it up again and then I'll put it down, you know. So there's that, and then part of it is I don't necessarily love this book. So it's just harder for me to pick it up and continue to read. And this was a book that I've seen in multiple places as a book that's recommended. But it's just not my thing, and I think that I am having a hard time with it because it's kind of I don't even know how to describe it. Let me show it to you. So it's this book here. I know I've posted on Instagram before. It's called My Grandmother Asked Me to Tell You She's Sorry. I initially picked up this book because it had a dog on the cover of it, and then when I read it, it sounded intriguing, and it's not terrible. It's just, I think it's just not for me. The book is told from the perspective of a 7-year-old girl, I think she is, and she has a special relationship with their grandmother, and it's hard to tell what's really happening versus what's not really happening. I don't want to say too much because if you want to read it, I don't want to give it away, but it's just not my cup of tea. But my rule is I cannot start a new book until I finish the book that I'm currently reading. You see Genesis trying to get up there? Come on, Jenny. Come on. She changed her mind. You can do it. Pooh, come on. Oh, if she really wants to, she'll get up here. I'll help her in a second. So I have about 50 pages left. So that is a goal that I have today to finish. Come on. Up. Come on. And then when I try and help her, then she doesn't want the help. So then she would prefer to do this. Jenny? There it is. So yesterday, one of the things I did is I went to Target to, the primary reason I went to Target is because I needed some chips and guacamole to go with my dinner. And then I decided to look in the book section, and I found this, and I'm really excited about this one. This is called The Female Persuasion by Meg Wolitzer, and the reason I'm excited about this is for 2 reasons. Number one, I read The Interestings as a part of a book club a couple years ago, and if you follow Megan on Too Cool for Middle School, she just recently finished it, and when I saw her pick it up, I told her that it was one of my favorite books. It was well written, and I said it's one of those books where there's certain parts where it's like nothing's happening, but everything is happening, kind of like Mad Men. I would describe that show to people where I'm like, there would be a scene where nothing really happened, but something really important just happened at the same time. So I bought this because I knew that I liked her style. Then the premise sounds pretty intriguing, so I'm gonna read it to you. We'll see if this makes in the video clip because I don't want this clip to be too long. I got this at Target. It's regular $28, but it was 30% off at Target, so it was about $19. So it says, Greer Kadetsky is a college freshman when she meets the woman who will change her life. Faith Frank, dazzlingly, persuasive and elegant at 63, has been a pillar of the women's movement for decades, a figure who inspires others. Hearing Faith speak for the first time in a crowded campus chapel, Greer feels her inner world light up. She and Corey, her high school boyfriend, have both been hardworking and ambitious, jokingly referred to as twin rocket ships, headed up and up. Yet for so long, Greer has been full of longing in search of a purpose she can't quite name. And then, astonishingly, Faith invites her to make something out of her new sense of awakening. Over time, Faith leads Greer along the most exciting and rewarding path of her life, and as it winds toward and away from her meant-to-be love story with Corey and the future she'd always imagined. As Corey's path too is altered in ways that feel beyond his control, both of them are asked to reckon with what they really want. What does it mean to be powerful? How do people measure their impact upon the world and upon one another? Does all of this look different for men than it does for women? Does that not sound good? So my goal is to finish the book I've been struggling with today so that I can read this starting tonight. I'm super excited. I'll keep you posted. So that was my weekend. Today I realized in last week's vlog I was supposed to give you an update on my professional choices, and I didn't. So basically I was debating between whether or not I was going to apply for an academic advising position or stay in the classroom, and the deadline for that application is this week, tomorrow to be exact. And last week I decided that I am not going to apply. Some of the people that I've been talking to, one of which is the person that's leaving that position to take on a new position, I've talked to her and a couple of my other friends, and I just am not ready to leave the classroom. And I think a good portion of that is I'm very curious to see what this school year is going to be like with a completely different team, and I want to kind of see that out. And I just found myself over the summer, even though I knew this position was open and something that I could possibly be applying for, all of my mental energy has really been on focusing on preparing for next school year, which tells me that you're not ready. So in terms of the steps that I take professionally, I just have really been served well, I think, by just doing what feels right to me at that time and at this time, even though this is a great opportunity and it may not be an opportunity that will come up again for a while. Staying in the classroom for this year feels right to me, and I have to trust that. So I will be teaching next year, and I will not be academic advising. A part of me is a little nervous because this is definitely a position that I'm very interested in. It's right down the alleyway of things that I'm interested in doing, but I just feel compelled to stay in the classroom for another year. So now with Teachers Connect, this person, I'm doing this now because I don't want to forget, and this is kind of a question that any of you out there can answer if you're currently teaching. So this person's name is Victoria, and she says, I just finished up my first year of teaching and I can't latch down a new job. My first year of teaching was horrible on my sanity. Before students even walked through the door, I lost my mentor due to her lack of patience with me as a new teacher and felt like I didn't have a place to turn to what wasn't entirely negative. I found my way through the year knowing that at least 1 year's worth of experience looked a lot better than quitting mid-year. In March, I turned in my notice that I would not be renewing my contract. I've been interviewing and looking for employment up and down the East Coast, but nothing has come of it. I am beginning to feel like all hope is lost and that this is some sort of sign. I like teaching and I would really like to be in a school where I can really grow and do great things with lots of support. Are there any interview tips that you can give to help me land a job? What to say or not say? Are there any tips you can give on handling workplace stress? So there's a couple things I want to say to this. I gave her some interview tips. I basically told her that when she goes in, make sure she does research on the school she's interviewing for or the district, find out what their initiatives are, find out what their priorities are, and then think of things that or skills that she has that can help support them in the pursuit of those initiatives and or priorities. Obviously dress professionally, come prepared, be positive and confident and secure in your answers. And anytime I can in an interview, at the end of it, I do mail a personal thank you note because that's just another opportunity for them to see LaTanya's name and think about LaTanya. So those are the interview tips I gave. On the other hand, with being in a positive environment, it's too bad that the experience at that school was so negative to her that she did not renew her contract, because quite possibly she wouldn't be in the stress of looking for a job right now. In terms of dealing with work stress, the truth of the matter is that there's always going to be someone at your workplace, whether it's teaching or not, that you don't find to be the most positive person, or that you find challenging to interact with or be around, and there really is no escaping that. You kind of have to just deal with it and take people for who they are, the good and the bad. And I did a video about this last year along with Megan from Too Cool for Middle School, and I'll be sure to link it, and I'm thinking about doing another one. But you just gotta, when you realize someone is that kind of person and they're negative, then you really just have to remember that about them and not let anything they say or do really affect you, and know that that is their own thing, that is their issue, and you gotta just move on from that. But don't let it deter you or discourage you so much that you give up your livelihood or a secure position that you have because you're hoping to go somewhere where that won't exist, because it's going to exist everywhere, unfortunately, because people are people and humans are humans, and everyone's going to be having a bad day, or everyone, you know, there's always someone that's just in that particular place in life for whatever the reason may be. So if you are a teacher out here, or even if you're an administrator and you have some advice for this person, make sure to go on to Teachers Connect to offer it to them, because we can all use interview tips and advice and things that you've done to help you deal with challenging colleagues at your profession. This person really needs your help. So be sure to do that. As far as the rest of the day, I was gonna go into my room, but they have shampooed the carpet, so the carpets are wet. So now I'm gonna be working from home on a couple of things. I wanna do chapter 6 of Go Math. Maybe start thinking about what back to school night is gonna look like, and then I need to create an agenda because I have a grade level meeting, summer planning day this Friday with my team. So before all that happens though, I need to eat some lunch because I'm hungry. And I just have to say, I'm just so happy that we're finally at a place where I look like this and you guys are accepting of it. This hair clip stays in my hair so that my hair's out of my face. I'm always in some variation of a tank top or a t-shirt, and you guys watch just the same, so I appreciate that. Come August, you will see me put back together and more presentable. But I just thought that this morning, like, how nice that I don't feel like I have to put on makeup and be able to talk to you guys. So I'm gonna get some lunch because I'm hungry, and then I will probably check in with you guys at some point later on today, just because I'm now learning that you guys really enjoy seeing Genesis and what she's doing. I'm gonna show you what she's doing right now. That's what she's doing. Just napping, taking a rest. I'm at this point, I've gotten so many comments through Instagram and here about Genesis that she might start her own blog channel so that you can just watch her navigate her life and her day. So anyway, I will be sure to talk to you guys later on. All right, it is now a little bit past 6:30, and last time I saw you, I was getting ready to have lunch. I have had that lunch. I have done quite a few things. I went and picked up my lunch from Panera. I ended up getting a salad, and I had ordered a vanilla sweet cream cold brew from Starbucks, and I was just really feeling myself because I picked up my salad, and then there was no line at the drive-thru at Starbucks at like noon, 12:30, and I just was like, wow, I'm killing it today on Monday. So I just zipped through the drive-thru, tell them I'm there to pick up my order, only to be informed that they were completely out of cold brew, which I was annoyed by, and I had a slight panic attack. So she said, I can refund your card when you come to the window. So I did that, and then they offered to make me another drink, and it ended up just being an iced coffee, just I think a standard iced coffee that is not as good as the cold brew for me, but I at least found out that it's tasty, like it's a good alternative. And so I am wide awake and still energized. So I did that. I finished the book, this book that I was talking to you guys about a little bit earlier. It's upside down. I feel bad. I don't want to make it sound like this is like the worst book I've read, because by no means is it. I have read books where I had to just put it down and just give up. That one was hard for me to get into it. It was a lot of things. Well, it was all told from the little girl's perspective, and she had this imaginary world with their grandmother that made it hard for me to kind of keep track of what was happening and what really wasn't happening. And there were so many gaps of time in between me reading it that I just never got a hold of it. But I was determined to finish it before I started my new book, which I now can start. I'm very excited about this. Plus, if you're wondering or looking for a good book, if you haven't read The Interestings by the same author, it is very good. I will try and remember to link that book in the description box because it's very good. And so I did that, and then I had a phone call with a company. I'm not going to say anything yet because I don't want to jinx it, but I am in the process of collaborating with this company in the near future. So I'm just excited about that opportunity that came about. It was a good conversation. So once things are finalized and I've signed my name on the dotted line and it's for reals happening, I'll let you guys know what it is. I'm excited about it because I learned a new resource that I can use in my classroom. So that went well. You guys have been extremely just generous today with donating to my Donors Choose project. I think I started the morning and I needed like around $250 or a little bit less than $250, and as of today, or as of right now, I only need $77 to fund this project. And if you follow me on Instagram, you know that anytime someone donates, I do thank them on Insta stories. And if I am getting on your nerves with that, I am sorry, but I'm determined to thank everybody that I can that donates, because you don't have to, and a lot of you are teachers, and you certainly have things that you need for your own classroom. So I really do appreciate it. I don't have enough words to say or enough words to express how much I appreciate that. So I've been popping on Insta stories a lot doing that. And I bought a couple of items, a couple of things for my classroom. I watched Jennifer at Glitter and Jams, who's one of the people that donated to me today, and she showed the storage kit for some task cards that I purchased because I am going to try something new at math this year, and there are some games that come with it that look like they'll fit in those boxes. So I bought those and used some of my beginning of the school year money for that. And I didn't do much else besides that. That has kept me pretty busy for the past few hours. So I'm going to venture out into the world right now. I'm going to go to Home Goods because there's something in particular I'm looking for. So I want to see if they have it. And then while I'm over there, I'm going to go to Michael's with my 40% off coupon in tow, just to see if there's anything that I need there, because that's how I've been spending my free time, buying things that are all needed and necessary, but it just feels like I've been buying a lot of things. So I'm gonna go do that. I'm gonna come home, eat some dinner, and I think what I'm gonna try and do at some point this evening is I'm going to clean out this cabinet in my bathroom. A lot of you think I'm just this most organized person you've ever met, and everything has its place and everything is in order. And I'm not gonna lie, I'm pretty organized and most of my things are in their proper place. But there is a bathroom cabinet that I have that I've lost control of it. I'm not exactly sure what's in there. There was at some point some organization to it, but now it's not organized, and that's one of the things I want to do over the summer. So that's what I'm doing. I'm gonna head out and then I'll check in with you guys a little bit later, but until then, talk to you later. So I am sitting in my car right now. I was on my way to do what I wanted to do and got a phone call from the security company saying my alarm went off and that a door was open apparently or something, and I'm pretty certain that everything was secured. So they asked me if I'd like the police to be dispatched, and I said yes, and that I was on my way back home, that I was just a few minutes away. And then I just got a phone call from them, and the police department is refusing to dispatch because there's no cameras, which I don't really understand. And they will only dispatch if the homeowner or the resident is there. So I had to tell her I am here. So she had to hang up and ask them if they would dispatch again. So I'm sitting outside of my condo waiting for the police. I don't know exactly what is triggering the alarm. I'm right in front and it kind of looks like my front door is open, but I don't know. But it's just, at this point, having a security system is feeling like much more trouble than what it's worth. So hopefully everything's okay. I'm assuming it is, but at the same time, I don't know that it is. But I think it's crazy that they said, no, we're not going to dispatch because there's no cameras there, or until the resident gets there. Because what if a robbery was in progress that I have to get here first to be in danger for them to be dispatched? I don't know. So I'll keep you posted. I'm in my classroom right now. I'm feeling a little disoriented. Because I had a bit of a rough morning. My alarm situation is as follows for today. At about 6:05, I woke up to a very loud beeping sound that I thought was coming from outside. And so I got up, and Genesis was awake. And so since she was awake, I decided to just take her outside and then continue sleeping for the morning, because I don't wake up at 6 o'clock in the morning during the summer. And as I made my way downstairs, I realized that loud beeping sound was not coming from outside. It was coming from the panic alarm system in my house downstairs. So the alarm was going off, and it was saying that the dining room windows were compromised or opened. So then of course I panicked and thought someone was in the house, such as an intruder. So I'm standing there looking crazy, and then not too long after that I realized everything's fine, and the windows are open, and the windows are broken, nothing's out of place, and I turn off the alarm. I don't know why that happened. So then I turn off the alarm, and while I'm doing that, I hear that my phone's ringing upstairs. I try and run upstairs to get it. By the time I get up there, I've missed the call from the security company, so that means another charge is probably on its way. Then I call them and let them know what's going on. By this point, I'm actually sweating out of just like nervousness, and asked to speak to the person that I've been working with. They transfer me over. I don't get a hold of that person. My mom is calling me because they're calling her. It's just a big mess. So as of right now, I don't know why that alarm went off, but I do know that 2 times in the last 24 hours, I've had an issue with my alarm going off, and I need to speak to the person that said he would be my personal assistant through this process. I've left him numerous messages. He hasn't gotten back to me yet. I don't know if he's not working or whatever the case may be, but I am officially done. I am officially at my wit's end with this whole process. I don't want to deal with this anymore, and when I speak to that person, that's what I'm going to let them know. I don't even have a sense of security right now, because now my alarm is just going off at odd times for no reason. So that really just threw my morning off, and I am here. I went to Orange Theory. I worked out. Guys, I just got an email that told me my donor shoes project has been fully funded. I haven't read the details. I don't know who fully funded it for me, but I want to say thank you to all of you who have donated. I was able to get this project funded in just a little over a week. I am 99.9% sure I thanked everyone that donated, whether I thanked you on the website itself because I didn't know who you were, or through an Insta story. You guys, I really, really, really do appreciate it, especially those of you that left like a kind, encouraging note along with your donation. Every donation mattered to me, and every donation was just as equally as important. And now I can start the school year with an iPad for my class and be able to move around like I was before my old iPad disappeared. So that is a bright spot of my day, because it was off to a rough start. So thank you so much. So that situation happened with the security company. I went to Orange Theory, worked out. I think I got about 22 splat points and just about 500 calories. And then I came home. I tried to call the security company again. No luck. I got dressed and ate, and here I am in my classroom. I had to do a couple things in here really quick for someone. I had to do a couple things in here really quick, and I am figuring while I'm here I should try and put the things back inside my drawers that I took out. The carpet was shampooed yesterday, so all the furniture has been moved around, as I'm sure you guys noticed, and I just don't have the energy today to move the desk. I should, but I don't know if I will. So everything's pushed up against the wall like that. Desks are over here as well as right here. I don't know, this whole security company thing just causes me a lot of stress for some reason. I think it's because it feels like my safety is being compromised and the sense of security that I once had, but that system is now completely erased. And the financial aspect of, I don't know what to do, because whoever I talk to, the police department is telling me it's them, the security company is telling me it's the police department, and I continue to be stuck in the middle, the one being charged. So I'm gonna try not to think about it. So my goal is at the very least to put things back in their drawers and go from there. So, but bright side, my project is funded. Thank you guys so much. I wish I could give each and every one of you a hug in person, but I can't. So that was my attempt at hugging you. So thank you, and I'll talk to you in a little bit. So I'm putting my drawers back, and I'm trying to multitask and do my Blood-Borne Pathogens training. So if you're an aspiring teacher out there, that's one of the things they don't tell you in your teacher program, is that every summer you're gonna have to do something called Blood-Borne Pathogens training, and it could take you up to 3 hours to get it done. It's just a series of videos about blood-borne pathogens and how to be safe around bodily fluids and things like that, which is important. It's important information, but it's very dry, and there's never a good time to do it. So I figured, let me play it in the background while I'm doing this. They've gotten very smart. You used to be able to just play this video and kind of listen to it as you go, and honestly, sometimes you get distracted, but now you have to listen to a little snippet, click to go forward, take a quiz before you can go forward. And so that's what I'm trying to do, so that by the time school starts, I have this out of the way.
Hepatitis B.
It's really fun.
The hepatitis B virus.
So now I'm learning about hepatitis B. It's just about 3:30. I'm actually getting ready to leave because word on the street is the custodian leaves at about 3:30, and I don't want to have to be in charge of alarming the school. I made some progress, so let me show you what I did. I put these things back in this little cubby, and if you're a new teacher out there wondering what you should buy, first off, these would be 2 things I would suggest for organizational purposes. So I put everything back into this shelving unit. This is from reallygoodstuff.com. I've looked for this before, and I don't remember if I found it or not, but if I can find it, I'll link it in the description box. So it comes with these plastic bins. I put erasers, pens, highlighters, glue sticks, dry erase markers, glue, scissors. I had to buy these gray trays because they came with multicolored ones, which didn't work for me. And I didn't have all these supplies out last year, but I'm gonna have them out this year and figure out how I want to manage it. Otherwise, kids will be getting a highlighter every hour on the hour. So that's what I'm putting in there. This is my mailbox. These are my mailboxes. That is also from reallygoodstuff.com, and I would highly recommend this. This is where I store their weekly folders. But as far as what I accomplished, I got everything put back into this drawer. It feels very empty. I think I used to have more in here than that. I'm not sure what it was. Got everything put back in this drawer here, and this drawer. So this was just all sitting in the pod, and so I just put everything back, reorganized a couple of things, and I did a little work in the pod with reorganizing some things there, because by the end of the year I felt like it was getting kind of messy. So let's see, I cleaned, hold on one second, I cleaned this cabinet up a little bit. So this is more like instructional stuff, and then these are things like Kleenexes and things like that. This corner I've cleared out a little bit because there was junk over there. I need to finish clearing off this table and put this stuff away, get my chairs back in the classroom, and now I just need to work on this area because these things need to be put away. I have some bags of stuff that I need to go through, and that's pretty much it. So I will probably come in tomorrow to finish that. I have a great little meeting with Jenny and Peggy, who you will meet on Friday, and I would like to have my room kind of pretty much put back together by then. So I'll probably come in tomorrow. I won't be going to Orange Theory. I am still working on my training. Now I'm on mandated reporting. My battery's dying, so I gotta hurry up. But the other thing I wanted to show you is this was a gift from my friend Heather, this little board. I'm sure everybody has seen these. And I decided I'm gonna use it to put the growth mindset mantra for the month on it. And I think I'm gonna leave it there. So that is it. I'm getting ready to go home and maybe do a little work there. And I'll check in with you later when I have a better battery. So I'll see you then. We're in Jenny's room. Jenny has made tremendous progress. Jenny's goal is to be done with this room by this Friday, and I think she's gonna get it done. She's nodding her head. She is going to get it done. So I'm gonna show you what she's done. She is not crazy like I, and she does not, because she's sane, she does not go floor to ceiling. And that's an illness that I have to come to terms with. So, because every time I do that, I want to cry. But this is what she's done so far. There's her shiplap that she has hung horizontally. We went with just simple white border. The border situation really took a lot of time to figure out, but I think this was a good choice. So we're not double bordering, like it's just going to be this, right?
No, this is the plain white, but the shiplap border is really similar. It just has a hint of color.
Yeah.
That I decided to do with gray. So every time you see a gray wall, there's always shiplap.
Right.
Anytime there's a shiplap wall, it's going with white.
And I think when we checked in, we hadn't decided really what color the walls were going to be. I feel like that was a conversation we had afterwards.
Yes.
We thought about white, and then that felt very dangerous, and then we talked about gray, but then we actually thought this gray was going to be too dark for the shiplap, but I think it really works.
I was worried because I felt it didn't match perfectly, but seeing it together, I mean, I wouldn't look and go.
Because I think it's far enough from each other for it to look like it's an exact match.
It is.
So she did gray walls, white border. She took the black and white schoolgirl style border back, and she's reusing the blue border that she had in her previous classroom. You know, you got to cut cost because it gets very pricey.
Right. And this is where I did the double border.
So she double bordered here.
Because I wanted to tie in what I already had.
Yeah. Because these banners here she had already, and she didn't want to get rid of those.
Right.
So she used those borders to tie that in.
These are schoolgirl style, though.
Oh, these are?
This is shiplap. This is part of her industrial chic collection.
I know that one. I know that one. So here are her other walls. She also bought some bookcases. I don't know if I showed you that. That's her Chromebook charging cart that she got through a Donor Choose project. Maybe she can give me the information and I can link it in the description box, because that one was, how much was it? Like
$4.99 or $4.50.
So, and she, let me flip this around, was one of the lucky ones that got her Donor Choose project funded during that whole Ripple.
Yes.
Ripple Donors Choose extravaganza.
That was announced by Stephen Colbert.
Yeah. And I was like, man, I wish I had a project, but she got her Chromebook charging cart.
It was like winning the lottery.
It was. I was excited, and I didn't even have a project. So that's where she got hers. And then this is going to be her writing wall. That's her son, Brendan, who's not giving me any time of day today. That's fine. Then she did more shiplap here. Now we don't know what to do right here because,
yes,
we ran out of
I did.
We ran out of paper.
And here's the deal. I could buy another roll, but it's $14.99.
Yeah.
So I think I might do a...
But if you buy another roll, you could use the rest for your area over there, because you're still not sure what you're going to do.
Right.
So.
Or bring it... I thought about bringing it over here, but I'm not sure.
So I do want to say this too, because a lot of people ask about the walls, even though I've said quite a few times that our walls are bulletin board. I'm just going to show it to you close up so that you can see it literally is just a giant bulletin board. So we can put staples in there, thumbtacks in there. So when we hang the paper, it's just us stapling it to the wall. I have seen other classroom tours, and I am thankful that my walls are not made of cement.
Oh, I know, or brick.
Or brick.
You see a lot of like East Coast or Midwest.
Yeah, and they have to hot glue things to the wall. I just would probably, I would quit teaching.
But then there's less. But if your walls are already like painted or have brick, that is a style in its own. And you don't have to do as many bulletin boards.
What if it's like an ugly color of brick? You know, sometimes
But maybe
I'm just thankful that I have bulletin board wall that I can choose. So that's it. She's made progress. I mean, she's fairly close to being done. She will be done by Friday, and then she can just dive right into 3rd grade curriculum.
Yes, I need to get that in my mental
so that we can get the party started. Yes. So I just wanted to show you the update. This is Jenny's room so far. I'm sure you'll be seeing lots of her over the next few months. Good afternoon. It's about 12:30 on, it's Wednesday. On Wednesday, I'm dressed with like real clothes on and makeup on because I just filmed a video on dealing with challenging parents. So, I haven't eaten anything yet. Right now, I'm having this debate as to whether or not I want to eat what I have here, which really is just waffles and eggs, and I just don't feel like having that at this time of day, or getting something to eat, which makes me feel bad because, as I mentioned in a previous video, I feel like I've been eating out, or eating out a lot more than what is normal for me, which is inexcusable because I'm on summer break and there's no reason why I shouldn't be cooking, but I just haven't. So, but the reason why I'm thinking about doing that is because I want to get to my classroom to finish like unpacking some boxes because I was in a heavy duty organization thing. And so I just want to get that going because later on today, if things stay the way that they are planned, I'm meeting with Liza to do some shopping for our house. Hopefully I can go in her house and show you the pictures that we picked out for our living room. She had them framed at Michael's. She even went back to Michael's after watching my vlog and finding out that you can get a teacher discount on framing. She had already paid for hers and she was kind of annoyed that I figured that out after the fact, but she actually went back and they credited her back, I think $50. So Liza's a wheeler and dealer. She seems very fun, loving, and easygoing, but she's a haggler. So she was able to get them to refund her the discount she would have gotten. So she wants to now work on, I think, her fireplace area. And she asked me to help her. So we're supposed to do that later. So I kind of want to do what I need to do in my classroom so I can come back, relax for a little bit, and then meet her. So now that I'm talking to you, I think what I might even do, this is not good, is not even have like a meal. And speaking of which, I need to take something out for Blue Apron, is not even have a meal, but just take like some chips and guacamole to eat and get a nice coffee and have that be my meal, maybe. This is, so if I use this, sorry, I'm trying to figure out my life right now. What is this too? Hold on guys, hold on. Oh, pork chop loins. Since I took that out, that means if I cook tonight, I will be making this yet another Chrissy Teigen meal, pork banh mi. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right. So that's what's on the agenda if I cook. I should cook because I didn't cook last night. And then speaking of last night, guys, me waking up to my alarm going off at 6 in the morning and just the stress of that really kind of threw my day off. I don't even know if anything that I said yesterday in the vlog was intelligible because I felt like my thoughts were scattered and I didn't feel very articulate when I was talking to you guys. But by the time I got home, I just had, like in the evening, because I was in my classroom and then I came back, and I just had this like feeling of being on edge. And I think some of it had to do with that situation. Oh, Jenny, she's doing her reverse sneezing. Some of it had to do with that situation, and then some of it could have had to do with the fact that I had like too much caffeine in my system, because I did get a cold brew from Starbucks and I had one the day before. Jenny, I just really wish I could help her with that, but I can't. She just has to like get it out. So that could have been it. So those of you that have been watching my vlogs for a long time, like one of the very first few vlogs I did talked about something called a bed 7. hold on. Okay. Sometimes when she goes through that, like a lot of snot is coming out. I'm sorry if that's TMI, but it is, and I have to get it because she'll just like swallow it back in her system. Okay, I'll spare you that, but I think she's fine. So anyway, I talked about something called a bed 7, which I saw when I was watching an episode of Jimmy Fallon and Molly Shannon, and basically she was saying when she's extremely stressed or feeling overwhelmed, she'll get in her bed for 7 hours and just lay and relax, but she won't speak to anyone. She won't take any phone calls. She'll text, but like she just keeps it real quiet. I didn't get in the bed, but I put myself, and I do this on a regular basis when I feel like I am like extremely anxious or feeling worked up and stressed, is I will just put myself in some self-imposed silence. So I got home and I just did not speak to anyone. I did not use any sort of words to communicate with Genesis. I turned my phone on silent and I just made sure no sound came out of my mouth. And it really does help, like just putting yourself in silence, and in terms of you not speaking and not having anyone speak to you, not having your phone go off or any of that. It really does help kind of calm your mind. So I woke up feeling better. But it was just a bad feeling yesterday. It was just an odd feeling. So I think that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna take either my chips and guacamole to my classroom, or those veggie chips and that dip that I showed in the last vlog, and get a nice coffee and just like have that hold me over, because I don't even want to sit down and have a meal at this point. So that's what has happened so far. I still have not heard from my security company. I'm highly irritated because my quote-unquote personal service provider, as he named himself, has not called me back, and that's very poor customer service. So I'm done with this company as far as this is concerned. So anyway, I'm gonna go do some work in my classroom. I'll try and check in with you while I'm there. My other teammate Peggy might be there, so maybe I'll introduce you to her then. But I'll check in with you guys definitely when Liza and I are out and about, because I know you guys enjoy her and her antics. So I'll talk to you guys later. All right, where are we? The State? It's like 6:30. 6:30, I am at the State, or 6:53, I'm at the State with Liza. We did a little bit of home shopping. Liza hates it with all her heart and soul. So we got a couple items that we're gonna test out, but we have to eat because she eats dinner very early, like at 4 o'clock. So we had to feed her at 5 o'clock. So we had to feed her. We're gonna eat here at the State. We both got burgers. She got a beer, which I don't approve of. And then we're gonna have butter cake for dessert, maybe. So do you guys wanna say hi to Liza? Let me flip the camera. Tell us why you hate shopping for your house so much.
Okay, some of you guys, like LaTanya, are really into like the creative thing. I'm more like, if I look at a Pottery Barn catalog, I need to buy everything on there and place it exactly. So I don't understand the whole method of just roaming through aisles for inspiration and seeing a random lamp and saying, oh, I think that might fit or work, and then you bring it to your house, and then it doesn't work, and then you gotta take it back. Like, no.
I think the things that we picked that were gonna fit?
I hope so, because I'm not going back for another year. So whether they fit or not, they're going in there. But I am excited to show you guys my wall, because LaTanya did pick out some great prints, and I love it. And it changed the whole dynamic of the room.
They're very light.
They're so me. So I think you guys will like it.
Let's see. You're gonna scrape it.
It's too much.
There goes Liza, scraping all the good cheese off of her.
It's too much.
Right, I'm in Liza's house. We ate dinner. We were too full to have dessert.
Lily.
So we had no butter cake. But here are the pictures on Liza's wall. We picked these from an Etsy shop.
Yeah.
And we picked the size. And then she had them framed at Michael's, where I told you she went back yesterday and haggled herself $50 back. $51. $31. So there's that. And then the area we were working on was this fireplace here. So there was nothing there except for this big clock, and it was looking very lonely. So we found these two things at Home Goods. This was at TJ Maxx. This needs some work. Like the leaves need to be fixed. And we had these things, but Liza's oldest daughter said no to that. She did not like any of those up there, so we didn't put them there. So she's going to be taking those back. So that was our home interior adventure for the day.
You like these?
Now Lily likes them. We should put them up and see what Lily says.
Like upstairs.
Oh, like in your room?
Yeah.
Oh, in her room.
She wants them in her room.
Yeah.
Not the living room, but in her room. So maybe we'll keep one of those.
Stay tuned.
But as far as Audrey was concerned, they had no place in the living room. So that's the progress we made. I'm getting ready to go home to watch the last episode of Handmaid's Tale. Liza, are you gonna watch?
No, I don't watch depressing things like that.
Oh look, look where Lily put it.
Lily! Oh,
See?
you like it there?
Oh, that's Lily's touch. She put it by the big plant. So
Where'd she go? She's gonna start putting purple flowers everywhere.
she's gonna place the rest. I'm probably gonna say goodbye for the night.
Maybe not. Did you tell them about your fan obsession? I need you to go over.
No, I didn't.
Do it! Makes you more cute.
Does anyone else, Liza thinks it's odd that I need to go to sleep with a fan on or the sound of a fan. Right now I have 2 fans, which has been the best thing I've ever done for myself. She loves just complete and utter silence when she sleeps.
No, but even in the dead of winter, you want your fan
I want the fan blowing because I'm a hot sleeper. That's number 1.
Go to sleep.
Number 2, I explained to her I do not like the sound of still air. Because when that happens, I said, I'm not sure if I'm alive or not. Which she thought was ridiculous. And I said,
like a baby. She's white.
it feels like that must be what it feels like to be dead, and I don't want to feel that way. So I need a good whooshing sound of a fan.
So do you guys out there in YouTube land, do you feel that way when you're sleeping in silence? Like, I might be dead, I'm not sure. So let me just turn on a fan to make sure I'm not.
Do you need white noise? Like me and most normal people?
Would you do like a sound machine, like waves? Or like a
No, I mean, that's too much.
Humpback.
I don't need like waves and whales and frogs and crickets. I just need just like a psh.
Okay.
Or do you like just complete dead air like Liza does?
Why do you have to describe it
Because that's what it is. It's like,
it's not dead air. Do you just like peace? And
that's not peace.
it is peace. We don't have to hear the whole
That is technically called dead air. So let us know.
Please respond.
All right.
Bye.
Hello everyone. It is 3 o'clock right now. I know that for sure because I just looked at the clock. And it has been quite a day. Nothing like super eventful, but just things didn't work out the way that I thought. This is the first time I'm checking in with you. Because of that, I am going to make this little clip quick because I am starving. I have not eaten anything at all today. So it all started at about 8:30. Like I woke up at 8 to go to an 8:45 Orange Theory class, got in the car, left at 8:30, which is normally the time I leave, only to get on the freeway, and we are in major traffic, which is not normal for the stretch of freeway that I'm on at that time of day, to the point where I called Orange Theory and said, you know, I'm in traffic, what's the grace period I have, because I knew I wasn't going to make it in time. And so they were nice enough to not charge me the $12, because you do get charged $12 if you don't show up for class or cancel within 8 hours of the class, because it was out of my control. So I ended up going there late anyway because there was no other place for me to get off the freeway. So I got off the freeway, checked in to see if maybe they'd let me squeeze in, and it was too late. And then I ended up having to go to the noon class, which I was not happy about because I don't want to exercise at noon. So when I got there, they said, we'll put you in the noon class if you'd like. I said yes. And so I was all dressed to exercise. And so I decided to go to my classroom and finish unpacking. I didn't show you guys what I did yesterday, but I made pretty good progress. Everything's unpacked in the pod. So today I went in and did some more staff notifications. I've finished Blood-Borne Pathogens, sexual harassment and misconduct, and there's abuse. Now I'm working on some other ones for the district. Let me switch arms here. So I got, no, that's not good. Sorry. So I got some of that done, and I moved put my classroom library back together, put the bookcases back, put my small group table back where it belongs, unstacked the desk, and in the process of me unstacking the desk, I discovered a nice molded, I don't even know what it was. It looked like it was a piece of bread that I think was left there from summer school. It had liquefied and all of that. So I cleaned out all the desks, got all the stuff that was in the desk out. They're not arranged in the groups yet. Some of them are, some of them aren't, because I had to leave eventually. And then I came home, medicated Genesis, and then went to Orange Theory, left there, went to the bank, got my iced coffee, talked to Liza for a bit, and then showered, and just sent a couple of emails I need to send, and here I am, 3 o'clock, starved, and ready to just relax for a bit. So, I'm gonna go get something to eat because, yes, you guys, I still haven't grocery shopped, and I'm certainly not gonna do it now because I'm hungry, and I'm just gonna have to come to terms with that. So I need to go get something to eat, and then I'm gonna come home and probably rest for a minute, and then later on today I'll show you a purchase I made from Amazon for my classroom because I saw this on Jennifer's, one of her latest vlogs from Glitter and Jams, and I thought I need to get myself one of those. And then I got a couple of things from DSW that I was able to get because I had store credit from the previous purchase that I made. So that is it. Oh, and the other thing that made today not quite the way I thought it was is I have my grade level meeting tomorrow, but today when I was in my classroom, Peggy, who is my, well, we think one of my new teammates, is now back in limbo where she, as of earlier this week, she had decided and talked to the principal, and they just decided no matter what, we're just going to put her in 3rd, even if numbers change for her in 4th, so that she can just move forward and prepare for the school year. But then this morning she was told there's some movement that's taking place that's kind of out of their control, and they're not sure yet if she'll be teaching 3rd or 4th, but we'll find out tomorrow. And tomorrow is when we're having our grade level meeting, so I don't know if Peggy's going to be there or not because we don't know what she's going to be teaching. We do know that we'll get a 3rd person, whether it's Peggy or not. It's just the part that we don't know. So I don't know. That's how it goes with teaching sometimes, especially if you're one of the newer hires. You're always that person that's kind of like in limbo. That happened to me for quite a few years. There were a few years where at the end of the year I didn't know if I was going to be returning to that school site or not because it was all based on enrollment. So that's where I'm at. So I'm going to go get something to eat and check in with you guys later. I don't know when, but it will probably be much later because I just need a minute. So I'll talk to you later. Hi, I just woke up for, well, I didn't just wake up. I woke up from a nap at about, 6 o'clock. The nap lasted much longer than what it was supposed to, and now I'm kind of regretting it because I actually have to go to bed at like a bedtime because I have to go to Orange Theory at 6:15 tomorrow. Oh, and I don't know if I'll be able to go to sleep at the proper time because I took a nap, but I needed the nap. I was so tired and I didn't really do much today, so I'm not sure why I've been that tired, but I have been kind of active the past couple of days. So I'm here to show you what I bought from Amazon, and then I might have to go upstairs to show you the clothing items that I got from DSW since I said I would do that. So the first thing that I got, or the one thing that I got from Amazon, I saw this on Jennifer's channel, Glitter and Jams. So I was watching her while I was cooking. That's normally when I watch other YouTube videos. And she had this very nice organization kit for, I think she's putting her task cards in them. And it caught my eye because I'm going to be trying to do my goal this year for math is to do math rotations, and one of those rotations involves the kids playing some kind of game that reinforces the skill that we're working on, and I wanted to be able to organize them properly. So she had this container, let me flip the camera this way. She had this container here, and at first I thought it was just a clear container, but it actually comes with these little containers inside. So this is actually made for storing 4x6 photos is what this actually is, but she was using this for her task cards, and this is the product that I bought off of Teachers Pay Teachers. It's a series of math games, and I will, if I can remember, I'm sorry, I will link the TPT product in the description box. Let me get my words together. Let me be more articulate. Sorry, guys. So my goal is to put the games in here, and I think in total I'll end up with about 31 games from the product, and this houses 15 of these little things. So I bought this. I printed this from Teachers Pay Teachers, but I did have to adjust the size of it. So this is not like what they're gonna look like. I will obviously print these in color, but this was just like a test to see how did I need to print it so that it would fit in here. And I had to print this at like 75%, I think is what it ended up being. And when I really print, I'll probably have to trim it down a little bit more because they're still slightly too big. So you just stick them in there, and then when they're stored, they're just in this nice, concise, clean little crate, and that's it. So I bought 2 of these. I think they were about maybe less than $25 each. I got them off of Amazon. I almost paid a little bit more because I was going to order them through Joann's, because you can get them at Joann's as well. And I had sent Jennifer a direct message asking her some questions about it, and she told me, hold on, like check Amazon, because I just bought some and they were cheaper. So thanks, Jennifer, for that. So I will link that in the description box. So I got that from Amazon, and then I'm gonna have to go upstairs. I hope you guys don't witness me falling up the stairs, because sometimes when I'm walking up the stairs and having to do something else, I can't really multitask, and then I do things like fall up the stairs. I feel like something's down here. I guess not. I guess I took it upstairs. So let's go upstairs. Okay, I'm upstairs. I decided to be cautious and just go upstairs without holding the camera, because I'm really not ready for you guys to see me falling upstairs. I don't think we've gotten to that place in our relationship yet. So these are the things that I got from DSW. I got this scarf here. It's like fake Burberry. So this was one of those things. It's not an infinity scarf or anything. So it just has little tassels down at the bottom. It's pretty sheer. So it's, I don't know if it's something that you're wearing really to keep you warm, or is something that you're just wearing for the look of it. And then I got these 2 necklaces. They are both one pieces, but they're made to look like layered necklaces. So I got one that's gold, which looks like this and just has like little bars down at the bottom. It's still wrapped in plastic, so that's what you're seeing. I wasn't sure about this one because you see how this shorter necklace doesn't drape as nicely. I didn't like that, but when I put it on, it looks a lot better. So I got that one, and then I got one that's kind of, not kind of, it's like silvery. It has a little sparkle to it. So this one's a little bit more shimmery. See if that'll focus for you guys. No, it won't, and I can't help it out any. So, and then there's the second piece right there. And then I got some stud earrings. So again, I got that from DSW with the store credit that I had from the shoes that I purchased. And I spent about $12 extra after that. So that's pretty much it. I know I did not film very much today. This is like the day that got away from me. I can't really tell you what exactly I did today that was super productive. I mean, I got some things done in my classroom. I did exercise, but that's pretty much all that I've done. So I'm going to take Genesis outside to see if she wants to go for a walk, and then I'm going to cook dinner and eat that dinner, and then try and do something a little productive before I go to bed. As far as my book goes, I think I showed this to you guys earlier in the week. So far, I am liking it. It's not a struggle for me to read this one. I'm on the 2nd chapter. The 1st chapter was pretty long. The downfall of me as a reader, I do like to read, but for some reason, I tend to only want to read when I'm in bed. And and it's like the last thing that I do, so I don't have the most energy when I start reading, so I only read little chunks at a time, but I enjoy it. So it's called The Female Persuasion. I highly recommend it so far, as well as the other book by Meg Wolitzer that I've read called The Interestings. That was a very good book. So that's where I'm at. I don't know if I will check in with you guys after this, but if I don't, you will see me tomorrow, and if I do, it'll be like a pleasant surprise. So I will talk to you guys at some point, either today or tomorrow. So see you then. Good morning, guys. It's like 10 minutes to 6, and I'm letting Genesis out to use the bathroom, and I'm going to a 6:15 class at Orange Theory. I'm a little startled that I'm even up at this hour to exercise, and questioning my life choices. Like, is it really that serious for me to exercise, for me to be up this early? But I have to go because Liza's expecting me there. Up. No. Come on. Go on. Just being hard-headed. So that's what I'm doing. My teacher leader meeting is supposed to start at 9 o'clock. I probably will not be wearing makeup to that, so I'm gonna go work out. I'm gonna come home. Then I need to try and edit very quickly the sit-down video for this week, because I'm kind of behind schedule and stuff like that. So you guys should be proud. I'm up this early exercising, and I don't even have to be doing it, but I will check in with you guys a little bit later. I gotta get going so I can reserve a treadmill with Liza. I'll see you guys later. Hi guys, I have been, well, I won't even say that. I was gonna say the cliched term, I've been a bad vlogger because you haven't seen me since like 6 o'clock this morning, but it's not bad. I went to work out with Liza, and then I came home and I showered, got dressed, and then I had to, before I left for my grade level meeting, let me put you guys down and sit down. Let's see how that goes. Before I left for my grade level meeting, I really needed to try and upload the sit down video for you guys that will be out tomorrow at 8 a.m. So I didn't have time to check in then because I had to use my time very efficiently. Then after that, I went off and got some breakfast burritos. I recorded that footage. I don't know if you'll see that. And then I got to school and I had my team meeting. I intended to vlog a little bit of that, but when we got there, like we just kind of got into the throes of meeting, and you know, my team is new. I'm the only one in the grade level right now that taught third last year. My friend Jenny, who you guys have seen in a couple vlogs, I don't think she's ever taught third, but she just is coming from second, and she had taught second before, and her and I have been teaching the same amount of time. And then our third teammate, Peggy, is a fairly new teacher. This is her second year teaching, and it's already overwhelming having that meeting and giving them so much information about like third grade and the year to come that I didn't want to add to that stress, especially for Peggy, because it's so much going on and she wasn't sure what grade she was teaching for a while and all of that, that I didn't want to add the stress of here's the camera. But I'm sure you guys will meet her. You've met Jenny, and I'm sure you'll meet Peggy at some point, because I asked her today if she was comfortable with being on camera in case she pops up in a vlog or two, and she said that she was. So we met from about 9 o'clock until 3-ish. We stopped for lunch, went out to lunch, and then came back and did a little bit of work. And since I didn't get to vlog, or I didn't vlog it with you, I can kind of share maybe some things that I did. Hold on. So I got to use my bag, but as grade level chair, for any of you out there that have done it or are going to do it for the first time this year, or if you're new to teaching, you're like, well, what does a grade level chair do? At my site, you're really just kind of like the middle person between the administration and the teachers at your grade level. So you go to meetings and there's information that you need to transfer back and forth. And that's really the best way to describe it. I have no authority over the teachers on my grade level. I'm no more important than they are. I'm just kind of like the liaison or the middleman. So I had an agenda. I thought I printed it out, but I didn't. I can pull it up on my drive. So anyway, when I have those meetings, I do create an agenda just so that, and I share it with them the night or at least the day before, so that they have an idea of what we're going to be talking about. And a lot of times they already know what we're going to be talking about because we're working on a team. This one was just a little bit different because this is our first time meeting as a grade level. So I make an agenda in my Google Drive and then I share it with them, and they can choose to look at it ahead of time, or they may choose not to. That's totally up to them. And then we just kind of go through the agenda. And then when we meet, I will actually type notes of the things we talk about in response to the items on the agenda. And then I save copies of them and put them in a file folder that is titled Teacher Leader Meetings. So today we just kind of talked about some information I got from a June 1st meeting that I had with other teacher leaders and our principal. And so we went over the information from that was relevant to the entire school. We went over our preliminary scores for SBAC testing and iReady testing, and looked at our scores as individuals as well as grade levels, and did a little bit of talking about that and used some of that to maybe think about some PLC goals that we'll have for the upcoming school year. And then before we met, I sent them both a text and asked them what are some things that they wanted to talk about at this meeting, and whatever they responded was added. So we talked about like delegation of some responsibilities as a grade level, like Jenny will be in charge of researching field trips and organizing that. I'll be in charge of making copies for math tests and other things. So we did that, and then they wanted to know about my daily schedule. So I share what a typical day for me looked like last year. They wanted to know how I managed wonders, so we talked about that a little, and I know a couple of you are still waiting for me to share that with you, but I will probably do that when the school year's starting and I'm actually like in the middle of a learning block, because it just seems like it would make more sense for me to do it then. We talked about math and some of the things I'm working on over the summer with the intentional math plans and like trying to integrate math rotations. They wanted to know what I read for Core Lit, so we talked about that. And then we talked about doing back to school night a little bit differently. I want to do back to school night where it's more focused on the curriculum of the grade level and the curriculum expectations, and less on like routines and procedures, which is typically what we all talk about during back to school night. But that's not really the things parents are asking about during the school year. I need them to see things like, how do you log on to Connect Ed? How do you use the math website? What does my website look like? What is useful about it? So we're gonna do that, and we wanted to present as a grade level, but I asked my principal first if she would be okay with that, or if she had any apprehensions about it, and she would prefer for us to do it as individual classes, and I told her that was fine. Like, I wasn't married to the idea, so we're fine with that. So when we finished that, we looked a little bit at some plans I drafted for the first week of Wonders and kind of navigated through the site and the TE, and then we were finished. And then we did a little bit of cleaning and organizing in the pod, and Peggy left because she needed to get some stuff to set up her new room, and then Jenny and I took care of a couple things in my classroom, or in our classrooms. So I left there, then I went to Kohl's because I had some Kohl's cash, and I'm going to show you what I got. I wasn't at first because I was like, man, it seems like I've just shopped a lot this summer. And the truth is I have, and I decided to do that because I just want to point out how, I don't know why I didn't do this sooner, but setting a little bit of money aside each month that's strictly just used for shopping was a great idea. I set aside about $100 every month throughout the school year, and I didn't really use it throughout the school year because I was pretty busy. And so I just kind of accumulated over time. And so all the stuff that you've seen has come from that, and quite a bit in gift cards that I had saved for my birthday and things like that. So I'm gonna show you that. Maybe I'll do that right now. And so I got this from Kohl's. Now, those of you that were like, oh man, like my friend Pam from Florida, she's like, I didn't like, or she just felt a certain kind of way when I talked about my issues with Kohl's, and I said, but who ended up buying things from Kohl's? Me. So when I bought those pants, I got about $50 in Kohl's cash, and I used it today because they were having a sale where you could take an additional 15% off. So I bought this blazer. I don't know if I stand up if you'll see it. This is from the Lauren Conrad line. This was on sale. So here's that. Please excuse the fact that I'm wearing a shirt and then pajama bottoms because I changed when I got home. So I got this blazer from Lauren Conrad, plus an additional 15% off if you use your Kohl's cash today. Then I just got a basic white t-shirt because I feel like it's good to have a couple of these. This was on sale for $7. This is from Kohl's. And then I bought another shirt. This was also $7 from the same rack from Kohl's. Now I bought this because I was watching Access Hollywood and one of the hosts had an outfit on that I really liked, and this is one of those times where I saw something on someone and this is something I'm using to replicate it. She basically had on a black and white checkered shirt, jeans, and red sandals, and so I saw this and I said, oh, I'm gonna use that to replicate that outfit. I just recently bought some red sandals from Target that I haven't shown you guys, but you'll see them eventually. And then I bought another t-shirt in black. So nothing too exciting. But what I was excited about is I got all of that and only spent $20.11 because I had Kohl's cash and it was an extra 15% off. So I went to Kohl's, got that, and then I came home and man, I really wanted to take a nap, but I had some things I needed to take care of, so I didn't. And I went on Teachers Connect, checked out some questions there. I hadn't been on there much this week because it's been kind of busy. So you know what time it is. It is Teachers Connect time. I'm going to share a couple of posts that I have found interesting and some questions I've answered. This week I will be posting a little post on dealing with challenging parents, and the sit down video this week will be about that, where I talk about challenging parents. A lot of times you call them difficult, but I in the video talk about how they're not really difficult, they're really challenging, and there is a difference. A difficult parent or a difficult person can just be difficult just to be difficult, but I think difficult parents are actually challenging because they're challenging you in some way. They're questioning something that you're doing. They're challenging you in the amount of time that they require of you. So the sit down video is about that, and then my post will be about that as well. So Teachers Connect. This one I just read, but I haven't answered it yet because I just saw it, but I thought it was interesting because I don't know if I'm having the same experience as this person. So this question is from Summer, and she posted this on Tuesday. She says, hi, I am going into my 3rd year of teaching and it's my 2nd summer vacation as a teacher. We don't have summer school, so I am off all summer. I do work on Teachers Pay Teachers products, go to a lot of professional development, and spend time with my family, but I seem to always get the summer blues around the beginning of July. All I can think of is that I'm suffering from a lack of routine or schedule. I am very routine oriented. I am trying to put myself on a summertime routine, but isn't really helping because I don't feel particularly productive, no matter what I get done in a day. Does anyone else struggle with summer blues? And if so, how do you combat it? So then I thought, do I get summer blues where I'm so sad, or, well, I know she's not sad, let me rephrase that, where the lack of routine is so salient to me that I feel a certain kind of way about it? And my answer is, I don't think so. Like I definitely get bored, and I wonder if her summer blues is the equivalent of me saying I have days where I get bored. But what I will say to Summer is, when you have those moments where you're having those summer blues, because this is what I do, where I find myself being like, I'm bored. When you have those moments, immediately think of like the busiest time of the school year where you are just worn out, worn down. You don't know how you're gonna make it through the next hour, let alone the rest of the week. Think of those days, and then that really helps me to appreciate the fact that I have the luxury of being bored right now and that I'm not on a schedule. My favorite thing about summer is that it is unscheduled and that I can do things when I feel like doing it for as long as I feel like doing it. I do have somewhat of a schedule in the sense that I definitely go to workout classes at certain times of day. I will make a list of things I'd like to accomplish in a day. That includes things like errands or visiting a friend. But if I don't get it done, I don't get it done. And I really try and relish that. So, for Summer and the couple other teachers that said they feel the same way, of course, you're gonna get bored or you're gonna miss that feeling of like, do I have purpose in life? But you just gotta really appreciate it for what it is, because in just a matter of a few weeks for some of us, you will be back into the thick of it, just tired and worn out and just feeling like there's not enough time in the day. So, do you guys get summer blues? If so, talk about it. What do you do to combat it? So that was one that I just read. I hadn't responded to it, but now I've kind of responded to it. Then there was another teacher who was asking about books. So her name is Zamora, and she says, I will be the new 5th, 6th grade Spanish language arts and social studies teacher in a dual language school this upcoming academic year. I am having a hard time finding and selecting high quality books to add to my library collection and add as possible core text. Any recommendations? So what I recommended to her, my response was, hi Zamora, depending on what you're looking for, chapter books or picture books, there are quite a few teachers on Instagram who will regularly post books that they really enjoy using in their classroom, and oftentimes they will tell you how they tie them into curriculum. I have gotten a lot of ideas by following Ramona Recommends, who I've met. She was very friendly. Hers are primarily picture books, if not only picture books, because she says picture books are her jam, and Teaching Through with Mr. G. You can also get some recommendations if you do a little searching through Amazon or Pinterest. Sometimes I will search things like children's books about, and then fill in the blank. Lastly, Scholastic Teacher Magazine also has a selection or a section with book recommendations for different grade levels that I have found useful in the past. I used to look at that page a lot when I had the subscription, because they would give you recommendations from like first all the way to like middle school age. So that was what I suggested to her. And if you're someone out there looking for the same thing, there's a ton of teachers on Instagram that will every now and then post books, and I get a lot of ideas that way. I'll just save the post and know, oh, that was a book about Thanksgiving that I want to read. So again, Teachers Connect, if you haven't joined, it really is, its purpose is, it's a platform for teachers by teachers. The hope is that it's just a platform of positivity and resources, not a site where you're going on to complain about the woes and the trials and tribulations of teaching. We all know that they exist, but really just resources that you know of that you think other teachers would make use of. You yourself are a resource to these teachers that are asking questions. So just go on periodically and check to see if there's anything that you can answer. And as I've said in the past, make sure you're interacting with that to make the site as useful as possible. But what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna close this vlog for the week so that I can get it edited and upload it on time. I don't know how this week's vlog is gonna turn out, because I feel like it was a lot more sporadic, because I don't know, I just felt like I was kind of busy this week, but hopefully it turns out good and you guys enjoy it. If you do, give it a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, please do. Share it with your friends, share it with people that you know are going to be teachers someday. Share it with people that you just know are nosy and like to see how other people live. If you have a comment, please leave it. Don't be shy, I will respond to them. And aside from that, I hope, as always, you guys are having a great day, that you've had a great week, and I will be sure to catch you guys in the next video. Until then,